this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin vs. the World. I'm SeptumSin, and today we are doing a movie review. Well, I decided I'd go ahead and do a disclaimer in the front of my movie reviews, which is, I am not a professional reviewer. I am not a movie maker. I am merely a YouTuber.
Gentlemen, Ciccolini here may talk like an idiot and look like an idiot, but don't let that fool you. He really is an idiot.
So these, of course, are my opinions, not to be taken as professional.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
But of course, if you do want something like that, you can check out other channels that are a little bit more professionally ranked. I would say I would go straight to the reviewer's source, because there are plenty of professional reviewers out there. This I do is directly from my opinion, and some people, they like to have the opinion of those who just like to watch movies, because it really is a different opinion.
Who knows where thoughts come from? They just appear.
I mean, really is three types of people. You've got the people who are the real movie buffs, the ones who study it. Those are really your professional reviewers, and they've got this artistic background, and they can give you one opinion of it, which is pretty cool. The second grouping, you've got movie makers. They have another opinion on movies, and that opinion can be translated and give you another bit of insight. But then the other insight is from people who do not have those two, and though it's not quite as a refined an opinion, it's closer to the opinion of, say, your average person.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it!
So today we're going to be reviewing The Acid Sorcerer, by Dakota Bailey, also known as Dakota Ray. Now, as you can see, this is the artwork on it. I've been meaning to get to these for a long time, but whenever I make a review, I want to see the movie on the big screen. I used to just throw them in and watch them on whatever material I could. But now I really do want to see them on the big screen. I want to watch all the special features. I need to take some time with it, and I don't get a lot of time with my big screen TV. I get like maybe a few hours each week. So I like to make sure before I can get into it. So I'm glad I'm finally getting into this. I want to eventually review all of his films on this channel. So stay sharp. We will try and eventually get to all of them, among other things. So I originally got this. I really wanted it, and I managed to get a deal to where I was able to get all of his films, so I was very happy about this. I did own this one actually separately before I got all the others, because I wanted to hear about it, which is another reason why I said I need to check this one out next. Now, this is a film very similar to the vein of American Antichrist, where you have kind of a loose storyline surrounding a group of different people. a group of different dark individuals in a very nihilist setting. The story itself comes across as an art piece dedicated to the suffering and pain around the world, with various religious iconography and symbolism. And if you look deeply into it, you can see a lot of different things. So the story revolves around, of course, a serial killer who is kind of a split, they say multiple personality serial killer. I'm not sure whether that's the best description or not. I look at it as almost a schizophrenic serial killer, because it's more of a voice in his head that's telling him to do it instead of him taking on that persona and doing it.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
So it seems like more of a command hallucination sort of thing, but also a lot of these are drug addicts who are going through. You've got a kind of a transvestite snuff film maker, you've got a drug dealer, and you've got a couple who are addicts. So this follows this group of people and their various means. The DVD itself does have some fun features that play at the end. You get to do some interviews with some of the cast members, so you get a little bit more insight. That's how I knew about the whole idea where they say it's supposed to be like a multiple personality type thing. For me, I've worked with people with multiple personality and schizophrenia before, and like I say, it looks a lot more like schizophrenia to me, but again, that's more like something that was told out. So it's best not to nitpick these things. I still feel like it was done quite well, and let's go ahead and get to our opinions.
And now for something completely different.
What was good, and what was not so good. Well, what was good about this film? There's quite a number of things that I enjoyed. One of which was I did enjoy a lot of the back and forth between him and his voices and or hallucinations or other. I thought it was a good illustration of that sort of thing. The themes of mental illness and substance use are very strong in the films I have seen. I've only seen 3 so far, and I've been happy with all 3 of them at the moment. And all of them very strong themes of substance use and mental health. And they do them very well. And of course, they utilize meth as one of those drugs. They do it by injection, which you can do meth by injection. I've seen that done. Well, I haven't seen it. I don't watch it personally. But I have heard of it being done before. Heroin is another thing I feel like is active in this movie as well. I like the culture and how the drug culture is portrayed in this, because it really is very close to how it is in reality. So this is a very well characterized and done setting. This is what fascinates me with these films. I love the nihilistic iconography, the crosses, the messages that you see written in there. All of it in this kind of black and white, bleak and dark feel. It is a cool thing. It's not one I would necessarily put on if I was in a bad mood, but it would be one that I enjoy watching and just taking into account. Other things, one of my favorite characters is the drug dealer, because he's one of those drug dealers who doesn't really get into his own stuff, and I don't know, he's just he's probably one of the few funny aspects in the film, and the other 2 films I've had didn't have as much humor in it. This one had a little bit of humor, which I did find enlightening a little bit. Very dark humor, but it was still fun to see him going there and taking one of those little crosses that they put where the people are. Just little touches like the little crosses where people actually end up dying on the road, and they put up a little memorial. Him kicking the memorial, or the killer at the beginning tearing down a missing child's poster at the beginning. Little touches like that just are fun little touches to give you insight into the personalities. So and of course, let's talk the soundtrack. I really did enjoy the soundtrack. It's got this kind of dark, almost metal feel to it. It is quite good to illustrate what's going on. It's something that you do hear. It is a fairly present character throughout the storyline of this film. So if you get a chance to listen to it, you should listen to the soundtrack. I could definitely listen to this on its own and enjoy it just a bit. Now, there were, of course, a few bad things. This one felt a little bit more rough around the edges than the other two, but again, it makes sense. This is an older film. The sound mixing was not as good. Like, the music was really loud as opposed to the voices, so at times it was sometimes hard to hear what they were saying, but my hearing is not as good as a lot of people's, so if you're younger and you're hearing as well, this probably won't be an issue for you. Now, but for me, as I get older, how well they mix the sound, how clear the voices are, it does make a huge difference for me.
Monkey's out of the bottle, man.
Another small nitpick, I felt like I really wanted to get to know a lot of these characters a little bit better. I felt like the main killer, he disappeared a bit throughout, and that's a sad thing because I wanted to see a little bit more. With the kills, maybe a little bit more on the, they stab them in the gut and then they kind of just fall dead. Maybe showing a bit more of them like flailing. But these are nitpicks.
Hardly complimentary, Your Highness.
Overall, I did feel like this was a very well done film. Again, I have really enjoyed a lot of Dakota Ray's works. There's a new one coming out, and I am prepping to try and get as much of this watched as I can before that, so I may be prioritizing. I have a music review that I've got to do that I'm kind of using a lot of my free time for, but once that's done, I'm probably going to start trying to really tamp down and go through the rest of his catalog, so that by the time I get to his new movie, I'll have all of his films in a nice little playlist so that anybody can just pluck them out and get ready for their own tour with that newest movie. So let's get down to the rating. So I really did like this film, and I would give the Acid Sorcerer a 7 out of 10. I really liked this. There was some roughness around the edges, but really and truly overall, this was a movie, though not quite to the level that I felt like American Antichrist and Dark Days of Demetrius had ended up getting to, because those were really, really amazing films. This one still is a must-see for all you nihilists out there who look into the darkness and want the darkness to look back.
Forbidden donut.
So that's it for my review of this physical media here. Of course, if you've enjoyed this, click that like button. Hit that share button, of course. Share with your friends so that we can try and spread the wealth. We have a nice community here. It's slowly growing. I'm hoping to eventually get it to shoot up one of these days. But for those here, you guys, y'all are the stars of this, and we greatly appreciate you. But of course, you can stick around for my YouTube shout out, or if you don't, have a nice day, and we'll see you on the next one. Welcome to the YouTube shoutout. This time we're going to be shouting out a YouTuber called Alice's Movies. Now this is another movie collector. She shows a lot of cool stuff, some Arrow content, a little bit of video game stuff on The Sims, and of course she does a lot of these compilation music videos and movie reviews. She is an excellent content creator. I've really enjoyed her work. She is somebody that, if you enjoy this type of content, especially some of the horror content, because she really does a great job covering that, you should really be checking out this channel. I don't have a lot more to say. I think it mostly speaks for itself, especially the music videos, because they are fun to watch. I try and cue them up and just watch through them. I'm looking through the playlists now, and I want to say that there are a number of different things you can look at, like different unboxings. One of my favorites, actually, is that big old house set, which I myself do have the house box set from Arrow, which unfortunately you cannot get as a US release, but fortunately it's region free Blu-ray wise, so you can watch it on any Blu-ray player. I was very happy about that. Well, with that being said, check her out and tell her SeptumSin sent you along. Well, this has been our YouTube shout out for the day, and I wish you a good day, and see you on the next one.